here's the full piece. I'm going to give this thing a shot. It feels complicated. If you don't have a laser printer, it's no big deal. You could actually even print this out like on a parchment type paper, cut that inner set of text out and put it behind so that it's mounted back behind there. Rather than being burned into the wood, it would just be a separate sheet of paper. Get that really cool parchment looking paper and print that at size, and then your wood will frame it and you won't even know. It'll just be glued down and right on top of that. That goes the same for the letters. If you're not wanting to cut out all of those, I mean, they're thin. They're super thin letters, and this is going to take a little bit of effort to do, a little bit of concentration, but you guys can do it. I know you can. Let's get started. Okay, so I've got this one ready to cut, and I am just cutting out the pillars and the top piece on this one. And I'm not sure what type of wood that one is. This is cherry. It's a little thicker, and I'm doing the trees. You can see I've darkened them up and thickened the lines a little bit, so I have a better chance of not breaking something. Still doesn't mean I'm not going to break anything, but that's the way it goes. So let me go ahead and put some pilot holes in this one where I need to be able to cut the inner pieces out, and I'll set this up and we'll go over to the scroll saw now. I think the first thing I want to do with this one is I'm going to go ahead and cut out this inner piece, and then I'll go ahead and go around all of it through the insides. I'll actually do this inner piece next, and then out around here, and we'll have these finished, and then we'll go to the trees. And I'm pretty sure someone will ask me. This is a number 5 blade. This is a harder wood, so I'm not sure how this is going to cut, but hopefully it's going to do just what I need it to do. All right, so I've completely cut this center piece out, but I'm going to leave it in there for support on this. As a matter of fact, I'm going to go ahead and get some tape and tape this together. Okay, there. So I'm taping it together. That way it's not going to come apart on me, and it'll make things just a little easier for us to cut. And this, I won't accidentally grab it and squeeze it and snap this. That's what I'm worried about. All right, so I put this back in here just to keep me from breaking it, because I will if I can. That's just the way I am. So let's get started on this. There it is. Nice and cut out. Let's take a look at it a little closer. Okay, there we are. That's how that thing fits in there. What will happen is these are going to be brought down lower so it's not so deep in there. Okay. Next, we're going to do the trees. That's going to be out of cherry. I did find out this is walnut. Obviously, it looks like it. But when I was cutting it, it had the distinct smell of walnut. So, yeah, that's what it is. This is going to be cherry right here. It's a little thicker so that I can get these branches to go over top of this. So we'll see how that works. All right, pretty cool. I've got that down in here like this. I have my trees. I haven't done any of the lettering yet. We'll do that last. So what I need to do now is I need to bring these down by carving. I need to round these over. And then I need to cut in here so that these will then fit right over top of the pillars, so that this will slide down in, and then I can round the trees, get them to look a little more like trees. Quite a bit to do here, so let's get moving. So the first thing I want to do is I want to take this bit right here, and I want to round over my columns and get a nice rounded feel to them. Then I need to very carefully bring this down. I want it to be about half as thick as it already is. So I've just got to be super careful doing that. Here we go. How about if I try this? Let's see if I can get this to go about halfway. This is not perfect, as you can see, but at least now I can get it down to my width easier and I don't have to carve off as much wood. So let's do that. Okie doke. So I got that arch lowered so you can see the text in there a lot nicer. I've gone and drawn on here where I need to put in for the pillars. So I'm going to go ahead and get started on that now and hopefully not break that arch. All right, I got that one pretty roughed out. I like the way that looks. So now what I need to do is I need to take this one and I need to fit it. I need to fit it right in here, and I need to figure out where to cut arches in these branches here. And I need to make sure I get it to the right height so that it also fits down over top of it. I want it to fit as snug as possible, so that'll take me a little bit of time. Whoops, sorry about my hands. That'll take me a little bit of time to figure that out, but I'll go ahead and I'll get that figured out, and we'll come back and do the tree portion next and get it all to fit snugly. All right, so hopefully you can see what's happening here. I'm trying to get this to fit down in, and you can see that we have a tight fit right around here, right there, and on this side and this side. So I'm going to take my pencil, I'm going to mark in there. I'm going to do this off camera because I'm going to get in the way of the camera trying to get all the different angles, and I'll show you what I've come up with once I'm done. Take a look and see how much closer we are. Oh, we're getting there. We are getting there. I think this one needs a little bit off on this side, a little bit more here. Not going to do anything to that one yet. I think really I need to get this one a little wider and this one a little wider, and then I think we can snap it right in there. Well, I've done a little bit more work on in here, and I'm able now to get this to fit right in position where I want it. I had to glue several of these because they just snapped. So I think the next thing I need to do is I'm going to pull this out, and I want to go ahead and get the detail on this piece up here on the top of these pillars and the detail down here at the bottom of these pillars. Once I have that done, then I'll go ahead and I will glue this into position. And I do want to round over the tops of the trees here just to give them more of a rounded natural look. I have to get a little piece that's going to fit down here in the bottom, because then I have the text that I want to put in. So I want a little bit of a platform for that. And then I will give it a little bit of a cutout around this so that we have a nice looking shape for this thing. And then stain it, and I think we're good to go. So let me go ahead, carefully pull that off so I don't break any more. And then I'm going to go ahead and do these pieces right up in here. All right, we're going to go ahead and cut out these letters. It might be difficult to read, but it does say, speak friend and enter. We're going to go ahead and get that cut out so that we can put it at the bottom of the doorway that we're doing. Hopefully you're able to see these tiny little bits right in here. We've got all of those little guys, and I'm afraid they're going to drop right through this hole. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of my packing tape, and I'm going to take it and I'm going to just kind of run this just a hair. Probably should have tightened it up. It's all right. Put this right back down here like this. And I'm going to put this back here to seal that up. Okay, so now I have a zero clearance hole right there. So this should do the trick for us. There it is. Got a little bit closer together. It's all cut out. It's pretty difficult, but it is doable, and it looks really cool. So let's move on. Pretty happy with the way I've gotten these. Now I just want to take this, sand them down a little bit, clean them up, and get everything here, this part ready and finished. Because once I put this on, it's going to be a lot more difficult to get down in here and do the sanding on that. So I'm going to get that finished, and then we'll move on to the trees. So now I'm going to take this type on quick and thick, and I'm going to go ahead and get this thing into place here. And then I'm going to have to wait for this to dry before I can do any more on it, for the simple reason I don't want it bouncing around and moving while I'm carving on it. So I'm going to just take this, and I like this stuff, this glue for this specific application because it does dry completely clear, so you're not going to be able to see it. There is a bit of an issue with it when you're putting the finish on there. Depending on what kind of finish, it does somewhat show up. So I try to minimize that as best I can, but I'm just not good enough at it. And I'm sure a lot of you are going to just be shaking your heads going, yeah, I know. Same here. There's lots of ways to get it cleaned up and to make sure it doesn't cause you issues, but it doesn't always work out that way. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and get this right into place and push it down. And it's pretty tight on here. I don't need to, I'm not going to clamp it. I'm not going to weight it. It's good and tight on here. If it's even touching, I'm not even sure if it's touching everywhere, but I'm happy with where we're standing at the moment, and I'm going to let that sit like that. What I want to do next is I want to look for a piece that I can put right down into here, and I'm going to use that so I can put the lettering in, and you'll see that here in a second. Okay, I'm very happy with the way this has glued up, so I'm going to go ahead and start just rounding some of these. I want to be super careful here because those could break off very easily, and I don't want that to happen. So let me get started, and we're going to go slow. I'm pretty sure everybody saw that fly off of there. That's all right. We'll get it back on. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and get that glued right back into place. Just like so. Okay, so I've gotten everything glued up. I've put this base piece on, kind of like that. And that is going to be where I put my lettering. So I'm going to go ahead and get some glue out right now and get on the bottom of these letters so that I can get them into place. So what I'm going to do is I've got some glue. It's off to the side, a little bit off camera. But I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get the glue on, down on the bottom of this. Now this one, this actually says speak. So we're going to get that right in there. There's a tiny little, like, decorative piece. There were actually two, and accidentally broke one of them. This one's breaking as I'm speaking. We'll go ahead and get that guy right on there. Next one is, it says friend. So this whole thing is going to say speak friend and enter, which if you're any kind of fan of Lord of the Rings, you'll know exactly what this, where this is, and what the entrance is to. Okay, let's get friend in here. There's FR. The words here, I believe, are meant to look Elvish, when in fact they're just English, and they're just fancy pants letters, so to speak, kind of funky. There's friend. Got a lot of glue behind that one, so we'll see what happens. All right, need a little bit more glue out, and then we're going to do the word and. Too high. Last word, enter. Hopefully I spaced this just right, and I'm not going to be running off the edge of the wood there. Let's see what I've done. I'm going to take it. I have a winner. Okay, so there we have it. Now, obviously, lots of glue in there. We got to let that all dry. Once this is all dry, I'm going to try to get in there and do a little bit of sanding, clean that up down in there. I don't know if I have anything right now to use to get in there. We used to have a whole bunch of, here, I can use this as I move everything around. Sorry. Okay, I'm going to use this little bit of a nail head here. Let's see if I can clean up. I'm hoping that once I get the stain, not the stain, the finish on here, that this won't look too hateful. And being as that this is down in the shadows like it is, I really hope that it's not even that noticeable. All right, there it is. That's really all I'm doing with this. I'm not doing anything else. I'm going to let the glue dry, and then I will add my polyurethane finish to it. All right, I'm going to go ahead and get this polyurethane on here, so this can get nice and dry, and we can see what we have. Take a look at our finished product. Again, this is clear satin polyurethane. It's probably my favorite. I've gotten the matte before, and I feel like the matte is just too matte. It's just too dull for me. The satin has a little bit of a sheen. Gloss works on some things. I have to be very careful where I use gloss. Sometimes I feel like the gloss makes the wood look too cheap to me, but not in all instances. There are some cases where that just fits great. Like if I'm doing earrings, I'll throw gloss on those almost every time, just because I like they pop once you do that. All right. All right, so it's still a little bit wet with the polyacrylic that I've put on here, and I still do like the way this thing looks. I'm very happy with the outcome. Once it's completely dry, I will show you some final photos of it. Here's a little bit of detail for you if you'd like to see that. Get down in here, and so what I did is I used my laser to print that background, and then I've got around here would be walnut, and then this is cherry. This down here and this here is also cherry. It's just different parts. It's part of the sapwood and then part of the heart to give it those different, the lighter and the darker cherry look to it. The wood on the back is just a piece of pine that I found, and I kind of like that. I added a little bit of stain to it, and I think we're good to go.